time for Grill
Oh
Phil.
boy. Oh boy.
So,
To end the
Phil,
show.
I've received a bunch of DMs. Apparently, you're complaining about Panda Express. You're
Oh.
saying it's not gourmet, authentic Panda Express. Was this the first time you ate out
Oh.
Panda and you were disappointed, or what happened?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So
What happened, bro?
the story. Well, first of all, I actually used to eat Panda
First off, the
Express.
honey walnut shrimp is fucking delicious, Phil.
Is it? Because
First
I've
of
actually
all,
never had that there. I used to eat it back in
oh,
the day. Back in the '90s, I worked in a mall, and Panda Express was one of the things in the food court. And I would eat like the orange chicken, the teriyaki chicken. I was actually there the week when they released teriyaki chicken at Panda Express, if you can
you
believe
were
it.
there.
I was that old. I'm that fucking old. Okay. So the thing
Holy
was like,
fuck, man. We got to get you in the nursing home. Fucking dementia patient here. Okay.
so the funny part about it was back then it wasn't a big deal, but I would eat it every once in a while. And then I had a friend who started working there. He worked there for like 5 years, right? And then he was in his 20s and he's like the manager now. And he started telling me about it. He goes, so basically at Panda Express, what we do is in the morning, everything's actually fresh. We take it out, we'll cook it, we make it, put it in the fucking metal containers or whatever. It goes into the heat. He goes, if you eat right in the morning, it's good. But if you eat at any point during the day, except when we're changing out the tray, you're basically eating 4+ hour old ass food that's sitting out there that's overcooked because that heat lamp is just continuously cooking the food all day, which is why you can get it one day and it's like juicy and delicious. And the next day it'll be like fucking hard and dry and crunchy and like shoe leather, right? So when he told me that, I was like, hey, if I'm going to eat there, maybe I'll keep my eyes peeled for when they're swapping out the trays and I'll try to get the fresh stuff. So people have recommended to me for DSP tries it, maybe in the next couple of episodes that I try Panda Express. And I was like, it might be interesting because I haven't done that in many, many years. I haven't had it. And there is one close to me, actually, right here where I live. But my wife, about 5 years ago, all right, she was at her job and she was on break and she went with a coworker and they went to lunch at Panda Express and she got the orange chicken. And she said she got it and she went to eat it and it literally was like chewing on like tough meat. Like you could tell it was like way
Well,
messed up.
my question is, why did she continue eating it?
She didn't. She ate 2 pieces, so the first piece was kinda like, not so good," and the second piece was, like, gross, right? She only ate the 2 pieces. She tried eating the rice. She said the rice was flavorless. It was supposed to be fried rice. It was, like, so bland. So, basically, she didn't really eat that lunch, and she got stomach, like, sickness. Like, she got food poisoning
Yeah.
from this. For, like, a day, she was, like, couldn't stop vomiting. It was so
Well,
disgusting.
my question is, what's the difference between that and typical Chinese food? Because it's all pretty much the same shit, right?
If
It's
you're
all like,
If you're talking Americanized Chinese food, you're actually right. Like Americanized Chinese
yes,
food is not real. It's fake shit. That's not
it's
the
not what
authentic
they
stuff.
eat in China.
If you want to eat what they eat in China, you have to get what's called Szechuan Chinese. That shit
Oh,
is good.
okay.
That shit is very good, and you're gonna notice that a lot of their dishes are very spicy, and that's because
Here's
that's real
here's
Chinese
my
food.
hot take about it, Phil. Chinese food is a thing of the past. Chinese food has been outclassed by Japanese food for at
That's
least a decade now.
that's true.
Once the Japanese food came in, why the fuck would you order Chinese food? The Japanese food is way fresher, way tastier. It's just
Healthier.
on a whole
Healthier
other
for you.
yeah, healthier. It's on a whole other culinary level of excellence. So it's been a long time since I get Chinese food. But my whole thing is this: if I am gonna get Chinese food, it's probably going to be Panda Express
Huh.
because I feel like Panda Express has a higher level of sanitation standards as a chain than the average Chinese restaurant. Because the average Chinese restaurant, you don't know if they're feeding you dog, if they're feeding you cat, if they're feeding you shit that fell on the fucking floor. They don't give a fuck. So, like, I don't know. For me, it's like, I don't know why you would say Panda Express is worse than the other options. You
Well,
know what I mean when it
you,
comes to Chinese food?
you may have a point because a few years ago, there was a place in downtown, the town that I live, and it was brand new Chinese restaurant. And my wife and I said, let's order from there, let's test it. And we got it. And number one, it didn't taste like what they said it was. You know what I mean? Like it says, oh, it's gonna be chicken. You're eating like this doesn't taste like chicken. Like, what could this possibly fucking be? And it was also like this liquidy, dark ass sauce that's not normal. Like it's not the normal sauce you would have on Chinese food. I ate it and I fucking shat my brains out for like a day. It was so bad. It was like really bad. So I think you're right. When you're not going with a chain, you're taking a chance. But I basically live in Asian Central. Where I live in Washington State is like everyone who flies into the
Oh,
United
Mr.
States.
Phil.
No, I'm
We
serious.
do the Chinese food, Mr. Bonnell.
Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Filipino, Hawaiian, like all the Asian cultures, when they come to the United States, they go to this airport because this is the one where they fly in, and then they go from that, they branch off to other flights to go to the rest of the country. Well, a lot of them just stayed here. So there's a ton of that Asian culture here. We do have really good places. Like I actually recently did on stream get Chinese food from a local place that was super fucking good. It's like way better than what you get at Panda Express. But you got to find the good ones. You know, you got to test. You got to
So
order from these fucking places to find the good places.
here's the thing. So what's with this 220 number? So they keep posting it. I thought at first it was my title belt because it's
Oh
number
no.
221 out of 370.
It's a
Then I
dumb
thought
detractor
maybe it
thing.
was your weight. Like
No.
maybe you had lost weight and you were 220 or something like this.
It's just
What's this?
another dumb detractor meme. I actually don't know the full explanation. It has something to do with Broside Phil, and I just don't give a shit. So I'm sure someone could figure out the full story and explain it. I
You're
really
saying
don't know the full
you're
story.
saying to me it's a police code?
Probably, it probably is. Who
It's a
fucking
police code for mental illness or something
from
like this,
from
Phil?
the purely 100% trustworthy, sure, I believe that he was used to be a cop, Broside Phil, giving us this insight into the police codes and stuff. I mean, that's definitely the
Okay.
source that I go to
So
for
then
that shit.
the other question they want me to ask is, do you have these security cameras on your house like this female cop is saying, or
Security cameras on my
yeah,
house, like a female
apparently
cop is saying.
you have like 40 or 50 security cameras on your house?
Some people have the Ring doorbells, well, you know, the ones that go right into the internet. So several people around here have those. There are a couple security cameras that go along the main road, particularly we have, I believe, one pointing at our mailbox because our mailbox was vandalized a few years ago and someone destroyed it and stole all the mail. So now we have cameras all along there. But outside of that, no, we don't have a ton of security cameras. You
Well,
know,
because
a
people
few.
started to doubt this story because there's not any sort of installation or work that is done that you don't tell everybody about. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like whenever like the contractors come by, you tell everybody. So I doubted it from the beginning that you had all these security cameras because
Yeah,
wouldn't
no.
you have told everybody on stream that you got them installed as like a warning to the trolls?
I mean, probably. I mean, the truth is, our neighborhood is very safe because we have a good neighborhood watch. Everyone keeps an eye on everything. If you're gone and someone to see someone near your house, they call the cops. This is a private road I live on, so if you're here and we don't know who you are, the cops will show right up and trespass you right off the property. You know, that's why I live
Huh.
here because I need that level of safety with some of these fucking nut jobs out there. You know what I mean? So but I don't know. I never installed like a massive security system. There's basic stuff, you know, that's for the whole neighborhood, but no, nothing crazy. I don't know who
Okay, so
said that. I didn't even hear that.
Little Green Man for 5 says Broside Phil called the officer that Phil spoke with and said he was labeled a 220, which is code for a mentally unstable person. But Phil is the most stable guy I know. Phil shows up and does streams 6 days a week. Phil, is this true? Are
Oh,
you a
I don't know.
220, Phil?
I wouldn't know and I wouldn't care. First of all, I don't even know if he spoke with the real person I spoke with because I didn't give him the name. So if he found through some kind of research who this was, also if you actually think that anything he does is reputable, like how could you ever verify that what he said is real? Even if he recorded a conversation, it doesn't mean it's the person he says it is. Could have been
That's
somebody
what I
coached
well,
into a
maybe it was an
conversation.
actor. I thought it was a hired actress, to be honest. Like the idea that years later she's gonna remember you. I
Exactly.
mean, maybe you really are that remarkable and unique of an individual that she would remember, but
Right.
they're dealing with so many calls a day, a week, a month, a year. And then it's like, why are you taking your time to answer this random guy for a half hour on the phone, calling him a 220?
It doesn't make sense. And the conversation that I had with that person was short. It was maybe 10, 15 minutes. It was mostly about the death threat that I had gotten and then them filing the police report and all of that. And then just as the aside was me talking about, hey, I get thousands of dollars of chargebacks via PayPal. Would you ever look into that and help me with that? That was it. And the answer was no, we don't do that, you know?
Bagel Goose is saying 220 is half a PPP. Maybe that's what they're getting at. Now, Papa Gino says if you didn't know about it, then why is 220 banned in your kick chat?
Because everyone spammed it for 2 straight days, and that's against the spam policies. I don't want everyone spamming the fucking number. You know, the thing is, I've been through this a zillion times. Some dumbass detractor comes up with a new meme. They come into my chat, and I all of a sudden a whole bunch of new accounts start spamming it. I'm like, what is this? So I ask, and then no one will answer, and so they just keep spamming like brainless mouth droolers. And I say, okay, bye, ban, ban, ban. And then the thing is, I didn't even do it. My moderators put in stuff so that now that term gets auto blocked because
Yeah.
they were tired of moderating it. They're like
Well,
fucking tired of seeing
maybe
this shit.
here's my solution. Let them spam it and then sell a 220 Dark Side Phil t-shirt.
Well, see, that's the problem is none of these idiots would ever spend $1 to actually help. They're just there to fucking derail my business. So if that were the
But who
case, if I
knows? Maybe if we should embrace the detractor memes and have fun with it instead of seething.
if I were to roll with the meme and they actually would be like, ha, that's funny. Okay, then we'll actually throw Phil a bone. Then I would. Like I've done that before. Many years ago, there was a meme, a frog, like a cartoon frog that they were all posting, and I have no clue what it was, but it was a detractor meme. So I said, you know what? That's funny. Let's start using it. And I actually had them make a meme like my face as the frog and shit. And guess what
Yeah.
happened? When I owned the meme, they all just stopped using it and it just went away because they didn't, you know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
well, then that's the solution. You own the meme, and then they'll stop doing the meme, and then you don't have to ban it. You see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. I totally get that, but what's the point? It's already done. Like they're trying and
Because then you stay positive and you're having fun and you're winning instead of being perceived as seething and banning and losing. You see what I'm saying?
but I get it. But who's perceiving me like that? Not my viewers. My viewers are annoyed that they see it. My viewers are like, what the fuck is this spam? We just want to chat and have a good time. And they would rather have me take
The
care of it
thing
than let
is,
them run rampant with it. And that's the problem.
now what's his name here? What's his name? Oblivion is saying that's why the detractor streams are getting more viewers because they let people say whatever they want. So you can't compete with them when you're banning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't let people say whatever they want because these people are unhinged. You see what
I'm
they
not
do.
saying
They
you allow them to post people's real names
exactly.
or doxes or anything like
Exactly.
that. There has to be some limit, and even over there, I think they have to do those limits so far as like doxing and stuff, or else they might be in violation of TOS. But what I'm saying is maybe it's time to let them go wild. Maybe it's time to let them have fun. Phil doesn't like this idea. I'm just fucking with you, Phil.
No, dude, here's the thing, I've done this before. You know what I'm saying? Like I've tried all of this. Back in the day,
You've
with
tried it all, huh?
with YouTube, before I was a full-time streamer on YouTube, I told everyone's complaining that I'm moderating my comments too much, so I'm not going to moderate
Yeah.
any video comments. So I stopped moderating entirely. I didn't even look at them, right? Within about 6 months of that, I had my longest term supporters coming to me and they're like, Phil, you got to actually do us a solid. We actually want you to turn off your video comments. I'm like, why? Like, you have no idea. Racism, sexual stuff, addresses are being posted, like the most vile stuff. And we don't expect
Well,
you to moderate it full
I
time.
was okay with the first two, and then
Well, of
it got a
course.
little bit crazy after that. But
So
I
I
mean,
actually had to turn off my comments for years until YouTube instituted an auto system to catch the bad shit. So now I don't have to sit there moderating it manually anymore. Now I can have my video comments on again because YouTube has that system. So that's what I mean. These people, you give them an inch, they'll take 17 miles because you gave them the inch. They're not rational fucking people. I wish I could roll with it, but then the whole chat would just be 220 all day and no normal viewer would be able
see,
to say
I
anything.
yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I just feel like it's not a zero-sum game. Like I feel like you could win and the detractors could win, and everybody could win and like create content together in the ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? But like it doesn't seem like from what you're saying that that's possible, but maybe it is if we change our mindsets a little bit.
If they would work with me on shit, like realistically, I would be open-minded to doing stuff. But the problem is they don't. That's really the problem is the problem is they want to monetize as much as possible. Now, how do you monetize as much as
Yeah.
possible? You go as extreme as you can because that's what gets you the views. Instead of it being
Yes.
let's razz Phil today about something, right? It's let's actually make something up that didn't happen and pass it as a fact. And that's where I draw the line. There's a difference between Phil's dumb. He played a game shitty. He did this wrong. He did that wrong.
But
I get all that.
if
That I
but
can get.
if it didn't really happen, why would it matter? If they made it up, why would it matter? Because it's not true.
It's vile stuff. Some of the stuff they say. Like
Yeah,
Doody
but
said that
yeah,
Doody actually literally said this in a video. Phil said that he thinks that executives should be thrown into the street and publicly shot. And here's the video he did it with the
That's
timestamp.
based. I think that's cool.
But
I
he's
think I
but he's literally
like he's
calling to
selling
action
me
his
on Phil.
viewers to report me for it. And that's the problem is if people are taking these erroneous actions, what if I get hurt by
Is
it?
he
You know what I'm
actually
saying?
asking? See, that's what I think is bizarre is the guys who want you reported or banned, because then the gravy train is over for them. Because without Phil, there is no detractor content, hence there is no money. You know what I mean? So
But
it's just baffling to me
I
that they
agree.
would suggest such a thing as that.
I agree. If they would be more logical and understand that I'm okay making fun of myself in the modern day, like back in the day, I totally wasn't, but now I am. I mean, look at this fucking show that we do every week where I get made fun of constantly. I
I
think it's
think what you need to do is cut a behind the scenes deal with the detractors for a certain cut of the revenue, Phil.
oh, I'm sure they're definitely going to do that. They're going to send me money.
Maybe they will. Maybe they will, Phil.
All
Maybe
right.
if you give them the license to sell Phil merchandise or something like that, Phil.
All right, detractors, everyone, contact me and we'll talk about sending me money. This sounds like this is definitely going to happen.
This is the thing is, it's actually the case is it's the secret detractor Discord. They're already sending Phil money.
There you
And
go.
they just don't know that by supporting their favorite detractor, they're actually supporting Phil.
There you go.
Phil, okay, one final one here on Grill, Phil. So I was watching earlier today, you talked about a story about like some developers that got laid off.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how you got laid off at a helicopter company one time. And I was just curious, like, what is a day in the life of Phil at the helicopter company? Like, what did you do there?
Oh, well, it's interesting. I started off as a customer service rep where I worked for the repairs part, where basically what would happen is, let's say you're a company who owns a helicopter and your helicopter has a breakdown, right? Oh shit, this part broke. So you would call me and I would facilitate getting your part in and then getting it to our repair shop because we had an in-home repair shop or in-house repair shop. Or if we couldn't do it, I would find a place in the world because we worked worldwide where we could ship it for you, get it repaired, get the quote, you would pay us, and then we'd send it back to you. Or in some cases, we had loaner parts where we could get you a part, in between so you could get flying more quickly. I did that for like 2-3 years, and then they pulled me off of that and wanted me to do all this other work. They wanted me to do what's called continuous improvement work, where you have to do
What's
all this.
that?
You have to do all this training on how to basically analyze a process from start to
Oh,
finish.
so you trained people?
No, they trained me, and then I trained
Oh,
people on continuous improvement, and I ran giant projects. I actually had a huge project I ran
well,
from
it
start to
makes
finish.
sense. Like the idea of continuous improvement, that's kind of what you do on your stream every day with the business meetings. So you kind of took the application of continuous improvement, and then you do that during your pre-stream where you tell everybody, well, what did I do wrong? Why didn't we hit the goal, guys? What can we do to improve? I'm starting to see. So they actually must have had a lot of faith in you then to make you the head trainer.
Well, I wasn't the head trainer. Oh, no, 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 no. I was in
Oh,
in my department. I was the guy responsible for continuous improvement. So I actually ran a huge event where everyone involved with this process got together, and we were in boardrooms constantly. We were doing these mapping it out. Where's the bottleneck? What's not working? What's working? And we redesigned the entire process from the ground up. We had the IT department redesign the whole coding of the process to put in the part information and shit. And it took like a year. It took like a year of my job was doing that. And then after that, they basically didn't know what to do with me because they didn't need me in customer support anymore, and they laid me off. So I did all that work, and then they fucking cut the cord and laid my ass
okay.
off.
But from what I understood, wasn't your father the head honcho of this company?
No, not at all. He was in the company, but he wasn't head honcho. He was a very small potatoes.
Wasn't he a big deal there though?
No, not at all. He was
Because
he
what
was
they say is that he got you hired, that it was a nepo hire.
no, he had no clout in that whatsoever. When I was hired, he wasn't even working with the same people or in the same building as the people who hired me. It was a completely different department and everything. Some people knew him in the company, but that's definitely not why I got hired. I got interviewed by 3 separate managers for 3 separate jobs, and they were competing to get me for that job because they all wanted me
So
for their own departments.
you were in high demand then.
Well, I had a good education. I had a degree. A lot of the people working there didn't have a degree. And, they had seen my track record of things that I had done and thought that it was a good fit. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just don't understand how you got laid off. It's crazy.
Reorganization fucks the whole company, and they were downsizing. They got bought out by a big company. The big company didn't even want to have people working there anymore. They wanted to outsource everything to Asia, and they did. The whole company's gone now. That company doesn't even exist anymore. They outsourced all the workers. So pretty messed up.
So they ultimately didn't outlast Darkside Phil either.
Nope. It was,
The,
the hilarious part
king
was
in the end won.
years later, okay, I'm sitting at my local pizzeria. Okay, I'm successful. I'm making ridiculous money on YouTube now. And sitting across from me is the motherfucker who laid me off. I swear to God, it just happened.
No
And,
way.
and I'm staring at him just like this. And he looks
The
up.
karmic justice of the universe, huh,
And,
Phil?
and I'm just shaking my head because I'm like, I know for a fact now, making stupid gaming videos on YouTube, I make more money than that motherfucker over there who laid me off. And it was a pretty good moment.
So they're saying in chat, what is the ACE certificate? Do you have an ACE certificate?
Oh, that is the initial certificate you get when you qualify as being a certain level of training in, it's called Achieving Competitive Excellence. That's the name of the program that continuous improvement is within Sikorsky. That's the company that was the parent company. So I had a certificate. It means you went through a certain level of hours and hours of training and you participated in events, and then you earn that certificate. So yes, I did have that certificate.
Do you still have it?
I have no clue. I think he might have found it when we were cleaning out my closet like 3 years ago. If it might still be in there somewhere. I don't have it on hand, no.
Because people want to see the mythical ACE certificate, apparently.
I'd have to dig through. Yeah.
This is a holy relic of Phil lore. What I'm saying, Phil, you should take these holy items of Phil lore and you should auction them on eBay or a similar site and see what the detractors would be willing to pay for these holy relics of Phil.
Who knows? Maybe they would actually pay something for them, or they probably flood me with thousands of fake bids and ruin the whole auction anyway. So
No, come on. I don't know. I feel like we're going to enter a glorious new era of Detractor Darkside Phil reciprocity. It's going to be like a co-prosperity sphere where everybody wins together, Phil. Wouldn't it be nice?
Maybe someday.
Are we gonna hit this goal for fucking us to read the Vince McMahon text or what?
No, we're not.
Who's got what are we at? 390 or something?
Oh, we're over 400 at this point. Frank,
my God.
To be frank,
hit it, and then we'll do SmackDown and Raw coming up.
Let's put it this way. If we hit it, we got to do it next week, whatever we're doing, because it already went.
Yeah.
I got to get out of here. But
all right, well, let's get the hell out of here then. Guys, you failed us. You fucking withheld. Very stingy tonight. Very lacking in support.
That's not
true.
Disappointed
in all of you.
That's not true at all. Absolutely
this is
not.
Fucking brutal. Like, how are we going to explain this to the detractors? This embarrassing failure. This meager result of only $400. Holy fuck, man.